Hello and welcome to Practical Chaos Podcast. I am your host, Emily. This is where we're going to break down all that bad advice given with the best of intentions. Hello, how are you? I hope you're doing well amongst this whole crazy quarantine that is still going on outside of our lovely front doors everywhere. So today's episode is going to be all about not being a hoe. You know, you don't want to make the first move because then you'll be a desperate hoe, won't you? The advice to women to not make the first move when it comes to any sort of romantic engagement, to me, just feels so outdated and just so old and overused. And I'm hoping by digging a little bit deeper into why do we say this? Like where did this idea come from? And I read several articles about what do men actually think about women who make the first move. And I know this is going to be different if you are in any sort of other relationship other than heterosexual. So I am focusing just on that right now. But I feel like the gender roles and things that we talk about in that sense are going to be pretty similar based on how you identify. So don't take anything too personally. I'm kind of just going based on what I know. And we're going to go from there. So this whole idea of not making the first move is really outdated, and it comes from this idea of these traditional gender roles and women being feminine and demure and just kind of sitting back and taking things as they come, and a woman shouldn't seem too overly eager to please a man or too overly eager to kind of take on this sort of more masculine role in a relationship. I think it's so crazy because, especially with everything that's going on now with all of the, you have people who, I was sexually assaulted, I was, all of this other stuff. And so men are, a little bit more worried about making the first move. Now, if you're a gentleman, I don't really think you have too much to be worried about. But I think there's so many men out there that are just worried about kind of taking that first step in interacting with a woman because some of them aren't sure how they're going to react to them. The biggest part when it comes to, making this first move, I think, in any sort of relationship and how it goes on is I just don't think you need to be super aggressive, whether you're a man trying to, make the first move on a woman on a man, woman on a woman, man on a man, whatever you want to do. I just think it's ridiculous that women who make the first move, they're like, oh my gosh, they're just so needy, they're so this, they're so that. Also, women who make a move to get what they want. If you want to have a one-night stand with somebody and you want a friend with benefits or, you want to do something like that, just do it, man. Just fucking go out there, find someone, be really firm with what you're wanting and what you're going into it with. And I think, and across the board in any relationship, if you are just honest and open and just very communicative about what you want out of the relationship you're starting, I think you have nothing to worry about. And I don't care. If you want to be a hoe, be the best damn hoe there is. Don't be a half-ass hoe, be a whole-ass hoe. So, if that's what you want to do and you want to go out and have friends with benefits and have, one-night stands every night, then do it. I'm all for women taking what they want and taking back that power for themselves. If you want to sleep with a different guy every night, by all means, go sleep with a different guy every night. Just be safe about it. Be smart about it. Don't put yourself into stupid situations that you're not going to be able to get out of. Back to my original thing about making the first move. So, like I said, my big thing is I just don't think you need to be overly aggressive about it. Do you make a first move on somebody and they're not really digging it? Take a step back. Figure out what's going on. Get to know them a little bit better. Hold a conversation. Do more than just buy them a drink in a bar. Hang out with them. Figure out something that they like to do. And kind of go from there as far as that goes and trying to figure everything out. If they are digging it, sweet. Move forward. Move that shit forward somewhere. Tell them kind of what you're looking for, what you're trying to do tonight. Hey, we trying to hook up? We trying to hang out? Am I trying to go on a date with you later? Like, what are we trying to do here? Whether that's online dating, you're out at a bar, you see a cute guy somewhere. Doesn't matter. Like, what are you trying to do? Am I trying to get your number? Am I trying to talk to you? Like, what's going on? Just kind of make a move and see where it goes. And so traditional gender roles is a huge thing that kind of leads women not to do these things and not to go out and talk to men or make that first move because they don't want to be seen as unfeminine. And they don't want to be seen as too masculine in the relationship either. Like, oh my gosh, like, how dare she do this? Like, she is just, she's just too much woman for me. Which, if you're too much of anything for anybody, then they didn't deserve you to begin with. So, let's just throw that one out there too. Because I'm just saying, you're not too much for the right person, so you just have to find the right person to hang out with you and be willing to kind of take that on. If they understand that you are a confident person who knows that you're a badass and knows what you want, then fantastic. If they can't, in their little pea brains, understand that you are going to get what you want, then guess what? You didn't need them in your life to begin with. I don't care how cute they are. Another reason why a lot of women don't make the first move is because they don't really feel like they need to. So there's a lot of men out there that are going to, make that first move. They're going to buy the girl a drink. They're going to go get her number. And so a lot of women just don't feel like they really need to step out and make the first move. And that's fine too. Like I said, do what makes you comfortable and do what you want to do. If that's making the first move because you think the guy across the bar is cute, then awesome, make the first move. If that's sitting back and waiting for people to talk to you, that's okay too. Because along with all of this, there's like this huge fear of rejection. And I know men probably feel this a little bit more heavily because in general, they are making more first moves than a lot of ladies are, though a lot of the women that I know are just out there making whatever the hell moves they want and being the most badass bitches that I know. But, there's this fear of rejection that gets wrapped up into this whole thing. Like, what if I ask him for his number and he tells me no? Like, that's okay. Then you didn't need him in your life anyway. If he comes back and tries to give you his number later, just bye, boy. You didn't need it. It's this crazy thing that we all have this fear of rejection. I have a fear of rejection every day in the normal day-to-day things I do. We go out for an interview. There's a fear that we're going to be rejected there. I have a fear of rejection whenever I fill out a damn credit app. But, there's this fear that kind of comes along with everything, and it's crazy for us to let that kind of lead our lives. And I am no better than anybody else in sitting here being like, I have no fear. Yes, I do. It's deciding whether or not you want to move past it or try and overcome that. That kind of makes it, are you going to ask the guy for his number? Are you going to, send that message on Tinder or Bumble or whatever the hell other fucking apps are out there now that you can, try and find someone to get a one-night stand with. And that's okay if you are a little bit afraid. There's not a big deal with that. It's completely normal, and everybody is afraid, so don't think that you are alone. I don't care. Your most confident friend is probably afraid of some sort of rejection from somebody, and it's whether or not you decide to just walk through it that kind of sets you apart from everybody else. If you want to walk through it, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. You can sit there and enjoy your drink. You can continue to scroll through 800 pictures or however the hell you do it on Tinder. That's completely okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just knowing that you do have the ability and that nobody should judge you for it if you want to make the first move and shoot a message to somebody or, ask them for their phone number or anything else like that. The one that made me laugh the most on a list of reasons why women shouldn't make the first move was that it makes men feel emasculated. And we would hate to ruin that fragile masculinity that they have. Don't worry about what they have going on in their mind. That's not for you to worry about. What's for you to worry about is how you feel in that moment and what you want. Am I saying you should go out and just get everything that you want? No, because that's not necessarily how the world works. But you also shouldn't have to worry about making someone feel emasculate just because you asked them on a date. If that's how they feel, they have some underlying issues, and that's something that they need to deal with apart from you. So this whole idea that you can't make the first move because you might emasculate a man, I think is complete horseshit. My husband and I knew each other in high school. We were not high school sweethearts at all, but we knew each other. We went to the same high school, lived in the same town, all that fun stuff. And my husband, I had posted a message on, it was either Facebook or my yearbook or something like that. And I posted that I needed a ride to a party. And my husband messaged me back letting me know, oh, I have a friend that needs to go down that way. I could totally drop you off. And me being the most naive sort of person that I am, was like, oh, cool, thank you so much. He drove me all the way to this party, and then I kind of just hopped out of the car and was like, deuces, thanks, bye. And like peaced out without even the thought that maybe he liked me or anything else like that. And so I then a couple days later realized how dumb I was and sent him a message asking him if he wanted to hang out. And from then on, I mean, I married him, so we've been hanging out for a while, but like, what if I hadn't felt like I could, shoot that message and ask him if he wanted to hang out, or ask him if he wanted to, go on another date, or if I hadn't asked him any of that, I wouldn't be where I am today if I had been afraid that I was going to ruin some fragile masculinity or something crazy. Or if he had taken it the wrong way, I mean, I guess we'd be in a different situation, and I would have just been like, okay, cool, no problem, bye. But like, there are so many opportunities out there that you can just sit there and just grab onto that I think women are afraid to make the first step, and it's so terribly sad. But if I had been afraid to ask him, then I would have never known whether or not we were compatible or that we would have worked. And I think it's so crazy that women would not want to take the first step just because they're afraid of how they're going to come across. A lot of men find it super flattering when a woman asks them for their phone number. They see confidence. They see this badass woman who's not afraid to get what she wants. And I think that in today's society, that it's seen as less of a taboo, but at the same time, there's still this like underlying notion that women aren't allowed to make the first move or aren't allowed to go out and get what they want. And it gets stuck in this terrible perpetuating cycle. And it's like this unsaid sort of thing that you're not allowed to go out and ask for what you need or ask for what you want. And they don't want to seem like they're desperate or like, oh no, like I absolutely need this. And if you do absolutely need it, there's also nothing wrong with that. I'm going to say this a lot in this episode. There's nothing wrong with taking what you need and taking what you want. If you need a good one-night stand, go out and fucking get a good one-night stand. Like I said, just be safe. There's nothing desperate about that. And just because a woman's going to buy you a drink, or, which I'm just saying, if I was single, I would not be buying any guy's drinks. It's just not how I live my life. That's, my fellows, you go buy some drinks. I'm not about that life. But don't be afraid to show how confident you are. Like, confidence is a huge, huge turn on for a lot of men. By being able to tell them, like, this is what I want, this is what I need, like, not only is that showing that you're confident, it's also showing that you're really great at communicating. Like, you're going to communicate your needs and your wants, and I think that's a huge problem in a lot of relationships, is that women are afraid to say, this is what I want, this is what I need. Whether it's, something as simple as, I need you to help me clean the kitchen, all the way to something like, I need this in bed, or I want this in bed, just to be able to communicate with your significant other or someone that you might potentially be a significant other with is super important. And so sitting there and being able to communicate is also like, man, this girl knows what she wants. She knows what she's doing. I'm more than happy to follow along with her game. She is on top of it. And I think that it's just this terrible misunderstanding where women are just said to not be able to take what they want and take what they need. And I want to encourage all the ladies out there that are listening to take what you want, take what you need. Even if you are currently in a long-term relationship, Tell your partner what you need and what you want, and don't be afraid to go after it. Whether it's, applying for a new job, looking at a new house because you want a new house, bringing up a discussion about something like that. Don't sit back and just let life happen to you. It's okay to take steps to making the life that you want and getting something that you need out of your life. And the only way to do that is by taking these active steps and moving your life forwards. If you're just sitting back and letting life happen to you, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities. And you're going to be really disappointed in the end when, had I just applied for that job, maybe I would have gotten it. Maybe not. You never know. But if you don't apply for it, then you'll never know if you're going to get it. If I had just mentioned XYZ, maybe we could have made it happen. And if you're not mentioning it or not doing it, then how do you expect these things to happen if you're not actively trying to put the process into motion? And so on that note, I'm going to leave all of you ladies just with this one thought. Men too, if you want something, go and get it within reason, okay? Be smart about your decisions, please. Don't just go all willy-nilly, getting all crazy. But if there's something that you want, whether it's pursuing a relationship, like I said, looking for the job, asking for a raise at your job, because women were also not very good at that too, I guess. And some of this might be the reason why. But don't be afraid to make that first move. Don't be afraid to set things into motion and try and put yourself in a better position. Because the only person who's going to hold you back in those situations is you in what you think is or isn't appropriate based on a book you read, a TV show that you watched, a song you listened to, any of that. Don't be afraid to sit there and say, this is what I want and this is how I'm going to get it. So go out, live your dreams, get the things that you want, and don't be afraid to tell people, this is what I want. Because it's okay. And you can get what you want and decide what you want. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. I hope I brought maybe a little bit of joy to your quarantined Sunday. I'm sorry that this episode came out a little bit later due to those problems I was having. I wasn't aware that it was a problem until it became a problem. So again, thank you so much for your support and for listening. If you tuned into my Facebook Live today, I also appreciate you for hanging out on there with me. We had a lot of fun drinking some wine and talking about quarantine and reliving some of my restaurant days now that I am also currently back in the restaurant industry for a temporary amount of time at this point. I just want to say thank you so much for supporting me in all of this. And if you would like to see a video unedited of this episode, please feel free to head over to my Patreon where you can find fun videos, pictures, and all sorts of good stuff. I'm going to try and post more up there for all of my followers there. I also wanted to thank anyone and everyone who reached out and supported Preston and getting him a service dog. It was something I've talked about for the last few episodes, that we being just a collective community, are all trying to help Preston's family raise money for him to get a service dog. So they still have their fundraising going all the time. They were doing a shoe drive until April 26th, so this will probably be one of the last episodes where I really mention it fully on here and post it in the links below. But please feel free to head over to his page and help support him any way that you can. They are trying to raise $17,000. Service dogs are very expensive. And this comes from the amount of specific training that they need and just making sure they get a dog with the right temperament. So it's kind of a trial and error sometimes. And so if you can help out in any way, I would greatly appreciate it. So please don't hesitate to head over there. It would really mean a lot to me. This is something that's very serious to me and that I feel very deeply on. So please feel free to head over there and take a peek on his website. And if you can't donate monetarily, please feel free to share with your friends. Maybe one of them can help out. Even $1 goes a long way. So let's help Preston and his family raise some money. And then I'm also posting, this will come out the same day that this week's actual episode is going to come out. So please please head on over there and tune into that episode, which is Let's Get Angry. And hopefully you'll have some fun. I will be posting my May schedule sometime this week, going into the weekend, so that you guys can see what to expect in May, including a couple of fun Facebook Live options. I am currently toying around with the idea of taking a little bit of time off, though, just to try and get some things in place for myself and my family. Also, possibly stay tuned for a little bit of a hiatus, I guess would be the best way to put it. A little hiatus from me here at Practical Chaos. I guess leading into a season 2 where maybe we'll get into a few more things and maybe change up the way our episode goes a little bit. But like I said, not sure yet, so just keep tuning in and I will be sure to update y'all as I figure my shit out, because I'm a walking dumpster fire. So let's figure this shit out together. Stay safe in your quarantine, stay healthy, and as always, love you. Toodles.